that we move on from. But how do you make that decision now before you know where you're drafting?
That's a good question. You can't,
right? Like if it's
drafting, yeah.
right, if it's Connor McDavid, how can you move Taylor Hall at the deadline? And then we have the first overall. Who's playing on the wing with him? Well, we had Taylor Hall.
Elliot brought up another interesting point too, which is about some of these veteran guys that are sort of being bandied about as trade bait, and specifically a guy like Shane Doan. Like in all logic, the Coyotes should trade Shane Doan now. They're not going anywhere. We all know he stayed with the contract the whole bit, but like he's now Matt Sundin South. Like it does them better to deal him than to have him hang around with a losing team in theory. But Elliot brings up the point where if the Coyotes are the ones who somehow luck into McDavid or Eichel, wouldn't you want Doan there to say, here are the ropes, kid? Because 100%. That's the thing Edmonton has never had. Even with the reacquisition of Ryan Smith and all that stuff, they've never had a guy there to say, here are the ropes, kid.
Yeah, let me give you this one. I got to hustle and get the kid from school here, but let me give you this one. If you're Arizona and you win the lottery, is Dave Tippett back as your coach?
I think he should be back as your coach anyway. I think this season's been a symptom of goaltending. Why? Because they've had a couple of years outside the money.
Dude, look at how what does Dave Tippett do? And Dave Tippett's this is not like a slight on. This is not a slight on Dave Tippett, because you got to do whatever makes you successful, and you coach to your sweet spot. It's always veteran players. It's always, Tippett's teams are successful when they get a save. When they don't get a save, they come apart. And it's always veteran guys. And the one knock against Arizona, and this is why, Kyle Turris wanted out, he's not playing kids.
Yeah.
It's been a tough place to develop as a young hockey player. And I'm still convinced one of the reasons that Max Domi was sent back was they didn't want to rush another one, knowing that the coach isn't going to play him a ton, and he's best served by going back to junior hockey. That would be my question about Arizona. If they get the first overall pick and win the lottery, is Dave Tippett back as a head coach, or do you bring someone?
It's going to be a real interesting conundrum because honestly, like I've heard more votes of confidence for the goalie than I have for the coach this season, which is weird because the goalie's been terrible.
I know. Yep, I know.
But money talks. All right, you got to run. I'll run. We'll be back tomorrow. Red Army dude. Should be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait.
Polsky's going to be a lot of fun. So brush up on your Russian hockey, folks, because tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun.
Cannot wait to hear